Hello and welcome back to Collectible Stonks. So, if you guys seen the market, I'm sure you have, with MetaZoo and their first edition boxes and how crazy it's gotten. And I'm sure you've seen that prices are now hovering around the $700 to $800 range. Technically, the bottom right now is about $650, but I have seen the pricing keep going up, and I kind of there you go, $700, $680. So the prices keep going up, right? And I keep seeing the same questions and the same concerns and the same negativity about why the game isn't worth it, why this box isn't worth it, why it's overhyped. And I kind of wanted to break down a little bit of, how that may be true and why there's also the big upside to this game. So for starters, as you guys are aware, the game itself is a little bit different. The whole fourth wall break mechanic is a little bit strange. It's a little bit new. You use your surroundings around you to, enhance your deck in a way, right? Like, let's say a certain card says, hey, if you have a plant in front of you, you do extra damage, or things like that, things of that nature. So the mechanics are a little bit strange. The way tournaments might be held is a little bit strange, but overall the consensus of the people that have actually played the game is that the game is fun. It's very fun. It's very family friendly, and people are actually liking it. You mainly hear right now all about the investors and how the prices are skyrocketing and stuff like that, but the players themselves are actually liking the game. So I guess one of the cons is, like I said, the competitive scene. We don't know what the competitive scene is going to look like. I mean, if you look at Flesh and Blood, Magic the Gathering, and Pokemon, the competitive scene is a huge driving factor of their success. Whether that will be the case with MetaZoo or whether they're going to go a whole different route, we've yet to see. Now, I'm sure you've already thought it. I'm just going to lay it out there, right? The reason MetaZoo is kind of like the dark horse in the race, kind of like the one that nobody expects to win, and the one that's most likely to succeed, is because MetaZoo has the ability to get merchandise. Sorry, I'm trying to think of the right words. MetaZoo has a lot of potential for merchandise, for plushies, for shirts, for clothing, for movies, and heck, even like a video game in the spirit of Pokemon. There's a lot of different ways that MetaZoo can take advantage of their IP, right? I can see a cartoon being made. I can see film. Right now, I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen, if you go to the MetaZoo Games website, we go to the marketplace. They sell apparel already, MetaZoo hoodies. Now, my question is, what happens when they start expanding this to children's clothing? Let's say somehow they end up getting a contract with, I don't know, like a Target or a Walmart, whatever. Let's say they end up having clothing with their MetaZoo cryptids or designs. That just opens up the entire, that's a whole other market that you're talking about. That's something that Magic the Gathering and that Yu-Gi-Oh! And, well, maybe Yu-Gi-Oh! To a less extent, because it's pretty popular with kids, but Magic the Gathering and, Flesh and Blood, one of the most recent ones. MetaZoo has a very promising merchandising IP. I'm sure you see it with Pokemon. Pokemon is like the number one, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, that might have changed, but Pokemon is the best-selling IP, or one of the best-selling IPs in history, because of all the merchandise opportunities that it has. Mimikyu coming out in, Gen 7, like that sold plushies, and everybody loved Mimikyu. Of course, you got the mascot, Pikachu. Pokemon is a huge seller, and not only does it boost the sales of the cards, but it also helps boost the games and the clothing. It's like a giant circle that it feeds on to one another, like an Ouroboros. And so essentially what I'm trying to say is, do not knock out MetaZoo just yet. Based on what I've been hearing and reading and seeing how passionate and can-do attitude that the owners have about getting this out to people, that may be a possibility. It's one of those things where if they succeed, those first edition boxes, you're going to look back in 5-10 years from now and say, wow, Like, boy, was I wrong. I should have really bought at least one box at $600-700, right? But more on that subject, on the actual cost of the box, right? I think that it will continue to go down. I mean, once people get more product in their hands, we're going to see the price slowly start to retrace. That may not last long, though. Like, MetaZoo first edition boxes are just straight up selling like hotcakes. I mean, as soon as one goes up on the market, it's being bought out. Now people are adding them in bundles, and those are still selling out. A Rudy bundle, I believe, just sold for like $2,000. And they were selling for what, $1,000 literally last week, and it's because of the price of those booster boxes. So my projection is, and this is very common across any new stock, any new product, whenever there's hype for a product, it's going to shoot sky high, then it's going to do a slight price retracement, and then it's gradually increase from there. Very, very common, very well-known knowledge regarding any sort of market. My price prediction for the box is, if it does a retracement, it will probably stay at $500. And then from there, it'll keep climbing slowly. If it continues to skyrocket like it has been, then the Kickstarter boxes, which have started going up in pricing finally, Kickstarter boxes may reach alpha levels, and first editions may reach, $2,000, maybe $3,000 within the next couple of years. So, man, this thing's taking forever to load. But essentially, it's there's just so much that MetaZoo can be. I really wish that when they get their competitive scene down, when we start learning more of the game and more of the mechanics, and if they're successful within a year to 2 years and the product works and people still play it and people love the cards, and they expand their merchandising opportunities with their partners, it will quite literally, it will sell like hotcakes. Like, I don't know about you guys, but the cryptid designs are very eye-catching. They're very unique. They're very, that old school watercolor. Kids love that stuff. If kids get a little Mothman plush, they're going to see the MetaZoo blister pack hanging there. What are they going to do? They're going to buy the $5-6 pack. So the possibilities are endless right now for MetaZoo. It all just comes down to how the company handles it going forward. And so far, they've proven that they know what they're doing. They know what they got to do. Of course, the whole shipping fiasco kind of put a little dent in that reputation that they were building up quite quickly. But overall, if their next set, which I believe, I forgot the name, it's like Nightfall. If their next set is as successful as this one, and they continue pumping out, really good product, really awesome artwork on that card itself, they will be successful for many years to come. So don't knock out MetaZoo. I know a lot of you are very negative towards MetaZoo right now. A lot of you are very bullish very bearish towards MetaZoo. And that, I respect that. I understand exactly where you're coming from, but it would be quite something if the TCG that nobody expects to actually, quote unquote, win the race ends up being MetaZoo. We all see Flesh and Blood, and we all agree, essentially, at this point, Flesh and Blood is here to stay. It's a great game. The artwork on the card is beautiful. The tournaments are fun. They offer really unique and exciting rewards. They've gotten down the collector side of the market and the player base side of the market with unlimited and first editions. Flesh and Blood is here to stay for many, many years to come. But again, don't count out MetaZoo. I have a feeling MetaZoo will be surprising a lot of people over the next few years. But I just kind of want to throw this video out there. Sorry that I kind of rambled as I usually do, and if I didn't get my thoughts together correctly. But this has been Collectible Stocks. Thanks again for checking out the video. If you enjoy content like this, consider subscribing. I do plan on making more MetaZoo, Flesh and Blood, Digimon, Pokemon, whatever collectible I find interesting, I will make videos of. And if you enjoyed this conversation, this little discussion that I had with myself, consider hitting that like button. Thanks again, y'all. See y'all soon.